There's no school like the old school, but there is something like the old seas. Oceans are full of surprises. We can find entire cities or strange and creepy creatures under the sea. Hi, I'm your host and you're watching this channel. And today, we'll look at some facts about the oceans that you probably never knew existed. Let's dive right in. Deep-sea divers have discovered an incredible city in the Caribbean Sea. The underwater discovery lies in the waters of Honduras and is believed to be the legendary city of the mythical civilization of the Dogon. The underwater city has been covered in sand for centuries, but now archaeologists can study it thanks to new technology, which allows them to explore shipwrecks and other underwater sites. The city is around 30 meters below the surface of the water, making it visible only to expert divers and underwater robots. It may have been buried by a hurricane or perhaps a tsunami. But many believe that the city was lost when the Dogon people were attacked by pirates who came from the north. The researchers found cannons, ankas, ceramic fragments, and other artifacts that suggest the city's buildings date back to the 16th century. One researcher said that what we've seen so far indicates that the site could be one of the most important discoveries in the region for many years to come. Is there life after death? Maybe not in the traditional sense, but according to recent research, there may be more life in the deep ocean than on land. According to scientists at the University of Aberdeen in Scotland, there are more bacteria in the world's oceans than stars in the universe. They say that the number of bacteria in marine environments is almost impossible to comprehend, with researchers putting the figure at around 7 by 10 to the power of 30. For comparison, the estimated number of stars in the observable universe is around 10 to the power of 22. So how did the scientists get this incredible estimate? Well, they studied samples taken from seawater in different parts of the world. After conducting their experiments, they discovered that there are around 1 billion bacteria in every milliliter of seawater. Considering this, and considering that the Earth's oceans hold over 97% of all water, it's easy to understand how the grand total adds up. Marine bacteria play an important role in the ocean ecosystem. They're involved in breaking down organic matter and releasing nutrients into the environment. Some bacteria even convert inorganic compounds, such as sulfur, into organic matter. Bacteria are everywhere, and some would argue that without them, we wouldn't be here. Did you know that not all bones sink in water? If you drop a skeleton of a small fish or an invertebrate into the sea, it will float. You see, these creatures have air pockets inside their bodies, so their skeletons are less dense than water, meaning that they'll float. However, if you took a human skeleton and dropped it into the sea, it would quickly sink like a stone. Human bones are much denser than water because our bodies don't have air pockets. When large animals die, scavengers usually eat their flesh, leaving behind just the skeleton. However, sometimes the remains of huge mammals, such as whales and dolphins, get tangled in fishing nets or become trapped in other debris. These carcasses then end up on beaches around the world. Sometimes whale bones wash up on the shorehole, while on other occasions they arrive as single bones or even bone fragments. A whale skeleton can weigh hundreds of pounds, so it takes several people to move them. Local authorities often call in specialists to deal with the bones. The remains are cut into pieces and then transported away for disposal. The bones are so heavy that they have to be carried in wheelbarrows. Now, aside from being hard work, it's also unpleasant to touch decomposing whale flesh. Even though it sounds grim, this process helps maintain the cleanliness of beaches. It also gives scientists an opportunity to examine a creature that doesn't often wash up on shore, an entire skeleton. What's the largest animal in the world? Many of you would probably say the blue whale. This massive mammal weighs around 100 tons and measures over 100 feet in length. But there's another contender for the title of biggest animal on Earth, and it lives at the bottom of the ocean. It's called a lion's mane jellyfish. Its tentacles can reach a whopping 120 feet in length, with the diameter of each individual tentacle measuring between 4 and 8 inches. That's wider than most people's heads. Scientists are still working to learn more about this enormous invertebrate, but they believe that it can live anywhere in the world's oceans. If you ever encounter one of these creatures, you definitely don't want to go for a swim. Lion's mane jellyfish can cause painful stings that last for days. The creature can also cause eye and ear pain, nausea, fever, and difficulty breathing. In severe cases, the sting can even be fatal. There have only been a few recorded attacks by lion's-mane jellyfish, but we should remember that these animals are mostly blind and rarely sting humans on purpose. Did you know that it rains glass in the sea? Bizarre glass spheres have washed up on the shores of South Africa's Cape Town. These mysterious objects resembled colorful marbles, but they weren't hollow. Residents were shocked to discover that the spheres were made of solid glass and felt strangely smooth to the touch. At first, people thought that the glass balls had come from a cargo ship that had recently sunk in the area. But this theory was soon disproved. Researchers then conducted tests to determine the origin of the glass spheres. They discovered that the objects were made from industrial waste that had been dumped into the ocean. To make glass, manufacturers use silica sand, soda ash, and limestone. During the smelting process, these materials are heated to around 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. This creates molten material that can be molded into various shapes. After the glass is formed, it's allowed to cool down. However, when this happens too quickly, the material becomes stressed, which causes it to crack and break into small pieces. These shards of glass are then washed into the ocean, where they eventually wash up on beaches around the world. In recent years, glass balls have been found in New Zealand, Australia, Scotland, and England. Most of these glass balls are clear or green, but some are blue, yellow, or brown. They can be smooth or jagged, depending on how long they've been in the sea. The glass balls are harmless, but they do pose a tripping hazard. Local authorities have urged people to avoid walking barefoot on beaches where the spheres have washed up. The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most mysterious areas of the ocean. It is a region in the western part of the Atlantic Ocean where ships and planes are said to mysteriously disappear. Over the years, there have been dozens of reports of vessels and aircraft going missing in the Bermuda Triangle. But what really happens to them? Well, according to the United States Coast Guard, there's nothing unusual about the area. It's just a busy stretch of water where accidents happen just like anywhere else. Every year, around 100 planes fly through the Bermuda Triangle and around 100 ships sail across its waters. Although the U.S. Coast Guard insists that the triangle isn't cursed, there have been some strange incidents there. In 1945, 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers disappeared in the area. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the aircraft or crew members was ever found. Another strange incident occurred in 1979 when 2 Canadian warships entered the Bermuda Triangle. Both vessels suffered engine failures and experienced magnetic compasses. One of the ships was forced to send out a distress signal. But before help arrived, the vessel's radio equipment went dead. Some believe that the Bermuda Triangle is home to a giant underwater vortex that sucks in anything that gets too close. Others say that magnetic anomalies in the region cause electrical equipment to malfunction. Whatever the truth, the Bermuda Triangle continues to fascinate people around the world. Now it's time for you to make your voice heard. Which fact about the ocean surprised you the most? Did you learn something new? Leave a comment below and let us know. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on any of our awesome videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.